Hi, and welcome to Behind the Scenes with Axiom Medical. I'm your host, Jason McElwinney. If you're first joining us, this is a bi-weekly episode where we get together and we talk to people at Axiom Medical, the people that make this company tick, and we kind of get a feel for everyone at the company and introduce them to you. We've had a variety of different people from a variety of different positions and departments. And today I'm excited to bring you TJ Merino. TJ, how are you?
Good, sir. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. It's a fantastic day outside.
It is very beautiful.
Both TJ and I are in South Texas, where it's currently 73 and sunny. So that's fantastic. It was a little bit cold last week, but nothing like up north. So we're good.
Yep. Enjoying every minute of it.
So TJ, explain to the people, what your role is, how long you've been with the company, and so on.
So my name's TJ. Stands for Tony Jr. For short. My dad's name is Tony. I've been with Axiom Medical for a little over a year now, about a year and a half. I serve as the vendor manager. Work in the ancillary services department. So we have implementation, occupational health programs, supply and logistics, testing, vaccinations, you name it. If there's a service line we offer, we support it in one way or another.
That's great. And how long have you been at Axiom Medical?
So I've been here about a year and a half. I started off contracting before I came to Axiom. I was with a large healthcare hospital system, and the pandemic started, and they had to reduce their employees. So I was part of that, and luckily I have a great mentor that pulled me in, Dr. Scott Cherry. Started testing with them. Spent about 8 months in California working with media productions as an HSS, an area manager, and doing testing, supporting that functionality. And then I was offered this position for vendor manager so I could get closer to home and spend more time with the family.
That's great. And I understand that you and Dr. Cherry have a bit of a history together. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, we do. So Dr. Cherry was in the military during the same time I was. So he was our director of occupational health and nuclear surety at White Sands Missile Range, and I was his NCOIC, or non-commissioned officer in charge. So I was basically his right hand for everything that we did with that program. It was a high visibility program. Required a lot of inspections and medical surveillance, a lot of strict guidelines, and he stuck with me through it all, kind of mentored me through it, helped me grow up in that arena, and a lot of the knowledge base I gained from him. And he left the military, and I retired shortly, a few years after he did, and so we ended up connecting again here at Axiom, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's great. And I think a lot of people in the company can say this. You and Scott are probably two of the most even-keeled people we have at the company. You're definitely, calm, cool, and collected. That's fantastic. So to see that you had a history with Scott prior to this is fantastic. So, describe the role that you're doing right now, and who you overlook, and what that entails.
So my role currently has multiple facets. So part of what I do is as a vendor manager is, we onboard new vendors. I deal in all the pricing, so buying pricing that when we're purchasing a product, I help negotiate the prices for that product, and those products in turn support our service lines that we have here at Axiom. Kind of keep the ball rolling on that, but we also have the clinic sourcing piece of it too for many of our clients, setting up physical exams, OHP exams, things of that nature. Implementation is a huge one for onboarding clients and the end-to-end piece. So once they get onboarded, we also have the client lifecycle piece of the implementation. Testing is a huge one right now, as you might imagine, with COVID and vaccination. So keeping a strong inventory of all of our test inventory. And we use a multitude of different kits, so it's just making sure that we have the right solution for our client for whatever challenge they're facing, and then as well as the vaccination piece, anything from flu vaccines to COVID vaccines, PPE for on-site support, our mobile trailer units. So it's quite a bit. Our team started off, I think to 8 people, and now we're up to 15 because we've grown at such a fast pace that we have to be able to control the bandwidth and support everybody. So not only do we support our external clients, but our internal Axiom clients as well.
That's great. I know you guys do a lot of hard work. So do you have any funny stories of, you said you spent, 8 months out in California?
I did. I spent 8 months in California.
You got any funny stories that you can share that won't, isn't too risque or giving any information away?
I have one. Well, I guess I can share one. I won't say any names, but just to keep the client's privacy intact. But it was a well-known person. I had to do a concierge test for him. Visit their house and collect a sample, and that individual wasn't there, but I was able to talk to this person's wife and kids, and I was kind of disappointed that they weren't there. Not because I wanted an autograph or a picture or anything, but because I wanted to arm wrestle this person. And so they thought that was pretty amusing because, they're like, most people want an autograph or a picture with this individual, and you want to arm wrestle them. And I'm like, yeah, but you can always say you got an autograph from somebody or a picture with somebody, and that's cool. But who says, whoever says, hey, guess I got to arm wrestle so and so, and whether I won or lost, it would still have been cool, that to have that story to share. So yeah.
That's hilarious. That's really funny.
I probably would have lost that one too, by the way. So
well, we'll talk after the show and you can tell me who that was. No,
absolutely.
You don't have to tell me. We got a couple comments. Let's share them. Christy Howard says, love Anthony Merino, aka TJ, the friendliest and most helpful person who I love to work with. See, everybody loves you here. We got Erica says, hey, TJ, awesome to learn about you.
Thank you both. And Erica and Christy and Dara. It's awesome to work with you all as well.
Yeah. So. Yeah, Dara says TJ is the best. Autumn says TJ is such an amazing human being and team member. I appreciate his gentle nose swabbing for our COVID. Thank you, TJ. You totally rock.
I get that compliment a lot, so that they sound very gentle.
Having gotten the test from you multiple times, yeah, it's super easy. And you're such a nice guy too, and you warn everybody. It's okay if you sneeze. I've been sneezed on before. Holly says arm wrestling, love it, fantastic. So, we talked a little bit before this about last weekend. Last weekend was Thanksgiving, and I understand. You're one of the families that has to do multiple Thanksgiving. So, what was that like?
Well, one, I feel blessed that I am able to have multiple Thanksgivings because a lot of people, either don't get to have Thanksgivings or they don't get to spend time with their family and friends or loved ones during the Thanksgiving holiday, especially coming from a military background. There's been times where I was in Iraq or Afghanistan or somewhere far away, and I enjoyed the time with my fellow soldiers and civilians, but it's not the same as spending time around the table with your family and friends. So but it was fun. I got to see my brothers and my mom. Spent Thanksgiving at my mom's house, and on the way out, we stopped at my brother's house to tell him, bye, on heading out of town. And he was at his in-laws' place next door, and they were having their Thanksgiving, and so they wrangled us in. It's like, hey, stay and eat, and it's like, oh, I got to get on the road because traffic to Houston's gonna be bad. And they're like, oh, you could stay and eat, and you don't want to be rude. So we ended up staying and eating with them, and it was a great time. And then we came back, and my in-laws from Dallas-Fort Worth area stopped down on Saturday, and we had another one here. My daughter's getting ready to get married next year, so one, that'll tell you how old I am, and then two, we wanted to make sure that she wanted to have something where with everybody before she wasn't able to spend Thanksgiving with us possibly next year. So
that's a great idea. I was up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for Thanksgiving as well, and generally the drive is about a 3.5-4 hour drive, something like that, from Dallas to Houston, and it took us 6 hours on Sunday to get home. It was just
it's brutal.
It was the worst.
Yeah. And it's crazy because it's the big metro areas like Houston and Dallas. It's like everybody leaves the city of Houston or Dallas-Fort Worth area for Thanksgiving. No, you don't see a lot. The traffic coming in isn't as bad as it is going out, and it's it all just amazes me. So
yeah, that was a little nerve-wracking coming home. Oh, we got some more comments here. We got Robert James Rodriguez says, I'm an Axiom employee. I love it. He's a tester. And then we have Amy, who says, I'm new to Axiom and looking forward to working with you, and thanks for your service.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you for your support.
So, we talked about work. We talked about your family. What are some things that you like to do outside of, the office, outside of your family, or even, things you like to do with the family outside of work?
So most of all, I enjoy my time with my family. That's like my biggest hobby, is just spending time with them, whether it's just sitting on the couch watching a movie, or we just purchased some property up in Houston County, and going out there and hanging out on the property with them, getting it, shaping it to, how we like it and stuff. That's really cool. More recently, I've become this, I don't know if you're familiar with geospatial mapping, but like GIS maps and things like that. So I've become this GIS mapping nerd. And so, and then I just recently received the drone. So that, trying to integrate that into the mapping, and, it's cool creating something, that somebody else hasn't created. I mean, everybody's created maps, and we've mapped out a lot of the world, but when you're mapping it to your own liking, and shaping things, and just, finding things, it's like taking a metal detector in the air and just finding different things that you've never seen before, which is really cool. And not to mention, the property we purchased is near the Caddo Mountains in East Texas. And there's a lot of history there, a lot of Spanish and Indian artifacts and things like that, Native American artifacts. So it's pretty cool. I enjoy exploring, seeing new things, and especially when it gets stressful at work. It's amazing that if you go outside and into nature and just kind of, hang out and soak it all in, the calming effect that it has on you. And I'm not talking about like the park around the corner where you're hearing sirens and stuff, but just being out where, all you hear is birds, or just, maybe a cricket or something, just the quietness. It's really cool. So
that sounds relaxing.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm hearing you saying is, if the power grid ever goes out again, that we can all just sort of drive up to your land and stay there.
Absolutely. So yeah,
that's great.
I mean, I've got a generator. I mean, we can change out power. So
there we go. So you mentioned a drone. What kind of drone did you get?
It's a unique Q500 4K drone. It's an older model. One of my close friends who is also a physician, he bought one. He's one of those friends that buys things and uses it once and just never uses it again. And so I ended up getting it from him. He's not going to use it anymore, but I purchased it from him, and it does the job. It's a great little drone. I just got to figure out how. I'm not by any means a pilot, but crashing it, I have done that a couple of times, and I had to get new replacement blades. But outside of that, I've gotten it where I'm not going to crash it anymore. So
that's always a worry. I had the DJI Mavic Air 2, I think, and I bought the insurance. I bought the extra batteries, and I do side projects. And I was out in West Texas last March, filming, doing some stuff for this retro motel that's out in Sanderson, Texas. Mm-hmm. I had the drone locked onto a 66 Cutlass convertible as we were driving through Sanderson, getting to the motel, and then driving into the parking lot. So it followed it the whole way. It was a great shot. But in order to do that, I had to take all the safety mechanisms off of it so it wouldn't notice that anything was in front of it, because there's a lot of power lines and whatnot. And I went to land it, and it just went slamming into the ground and completely demolished the thing. And I'm like, you know what? This is an expensive toy that I don't necessarily want to lose and have to replace. So I ended up selling it. Yeah, that was my drone life.
My brother, he had a small one. I don't remember what type it was, but he flew it too close to a power line, and it just shot up in the sky and disappeared, and he never saw it again. So I don't know if that was because of electrical interference or what, but yeah, we haven't been able to recover it.
So. I've seen videos where people have just kind of flown their drones into like lakes and oceans, and it's gone.
Yeah.
No. Oh, Dara's got a comment. She said, that's a cool fact. Our new marketing analyst, Bo, is an expert in GIS as well. So we have a new person on our team, Bo, and apparently he's a GIS expert. So fantastic. You guys can share some stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to nerd it out with him when he gets here next week. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're all going to see each other.
Yes, sir.
So anything else that you do besides, you got the land, you've got the GIS things. What else? You reading any interesting books?
Yeah, I mean, there's another side of me too. It's like part of me wants to see how long I can live in the wilderness once I retire, without relying on I guess like the crutches that we have in modern day society. And so I've been reading a lot of books on like edible plants in East Texas and medicinal plants and just different things like that. And eventually I want to, be able to take my kids out, and because that's what I used to do when I was younger. My dad was in the military too, and he used to take me out on these walkabouts, and all over the place. And we would find random things on the ground, and he would always like tell me, you can eat this. And I was like, I'll watch you eat that first. And if, if you don't keel over, then I think I'm safe. And so, we would do that, but I want to be able to do the same thing with my kids. I felt like a terrible father a couple of weeks ago. We went out to the property and we camped there overnight, and they peeked their head out the tent and they were looking up at the stars, and they were just staring at them. And I was like, what are y'all staring at? And they said, we've never seen so many stars, or even been able to see like the bands of the Milky Way out there. And I've seen that before growing up and all the places that I've been. And it just told me that I need to get them out, to experience things like that, whether that's in Big Bend or out in the property or wherever it may be. There's always more to see than just the things that are around us every day. And it's always cool to explore and discover new things.
Oh, exactly. If you've never seen the Milky Way before, and the first time you see it, you're just kind of like, that's just there.
Oh yeah,
it's just there.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, and with all the light pollution in Houston, I mean, you can maybe see like 2 or 3 stars in the sky, but when you get out to rural areas, I mean, you can see everything. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was out in West Texas, Big Bend area in March, and there the Milky Way wasn't present then, but I was there the year before in August, and it was just everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So basically what you're saying is you are going to someday be like this gentleman here.
Yes, absolutely.
Future Grizzly Adams.
Is that the guy on the buffalo? Have you seen that?
No.
No.
This was an old TV show from like the 80s or late 70s called Grizzly Adams.
Grizzly Adams? Yeah, that's going to be me. Looks kind of like Sinjin right now.
Oh, we got another comment from Dom. Says TJ is awesome. Love working with him. Hand clap. Awesome.
Thank you.
Great. So, what does the future hold for TJ?
Well, got one. Just making sure my kids make it out of school and do the best that they can, and just be there for them and my wife. And then eventually, once my youngest son Mason is 10, when he graduates, my wife and I will probably move out to the property full time. But until then, we're just going to start building on it and shaping it and getting it ready a little bit at a time. So
that's fun. Yeah. All right. Well, we talked about a lot here. We really got to know you. Anything else you want to share? Any parting thoughts?
No, just everybody know that I'm here to help any way I can. If I can't help you, then we'll find somebody that can help you. And then always remember the old military saying, slow is smooth and smooth is fast, and live your life that way and you'll be good.
There you go.
So
well, we got a couple more comments I'm going to share, and then we'll wrap it up. Sarah Brenner says, Jason McElwain, love the Axiom lamps. I've got these lamps using our brand colors.
Oh, nice.
So she noticed that. I don't know who Sarah Brenner is. I'm just kidding. That's my fiance, my future wife. Can't wait. And then Amanda Grimes says, LOL, you just showed how young you are not knowing Grizzly Adams. Either how young you are or how old I am. But, I mean, look at me. I'm old, so we get it. All right. So anything else, TJ?
Nope, that's it. I appreciate it. Thanks for this opportunity. It was great. And hope everybody on this session enjoys the rest of their day, and we'll talk to you soon.
For sure. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. And thank you, TJ, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.